Hello guys, I'm Savvy and welcome to another Conan Exiles build video. In the last one, we built a different wizard tower in the snow because I kind of want to revisit the wizard tower and it looks completely different from the last one, but I just wanted to show that off and show a different version of it by using some Aquilonian and Argosian. But in this one, we are going to be revisiting some Argosian because I want to build something similar to a Colosseum. So if you are familiar with the Colosseum in Italy, then you will know exactly what it will look like, or at least something similar to it. So it's going to be round. It's going to have a lot of openings at the very top, a lot of archways, and I have a way to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to... I said we and then I, but I'm my building, but, you know, you guys are watching and, you know, I appreciate your guys' support. So we're going to go to Argosian, and we're going to do, just like with the circle in the last video with the tower, we're going to use both the squares and triangles together. So I'm going to put a square, just like this. Oh, and also, if you guys are wondering where I am actually in front of where the unnamed city is, and it's at C7. There's a large flat spot, large flat area that's here, and this is really good for practicing builds, especially for like big villages or towns or something that you want to do, or even castles. It would be really cool to make like a desert castle. Maybe I could do that for the next video, because I know you guys like the simple castle that I built, so we could probably do that for another video. Anyway, so the square or the circle is going to be quite large, so we want to go a few blocks here, and I also want to make sure that the wedges go out, or the triangles go out pretty much just as far, and probably match the same length as the squares here, and then we'll just go around like this. And this is going to be quite large, so we're definitely going to have a run for our money here, building this circle and then building everything up. Because, you know, with it being a Colosseum, it's going to be, you know, we want it to be large. We want it to be large. We want to have enough room in the center to have battles, you know, like enough space for people to run around in. And, you know, this is actually really good for even servers as well, because I know some servers will have places where you can have an arena and all that, and players can fight each other and win prizes and everything. So it's just really fun to do something like this. So we have this circle here. It's very, very large, and this is exactly what we need. I've actually built something similar to this, except it was more of a rectangle, and it is an arena, but it was much smaller. And I think the rounded one is just a lot better overall. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build this up twice, up 2 times, only because we don't want it. We don't want people sitting this close or this low to the ground and watching. We want them to have, you know, look over a little bit from a certain height. And plus, we don't want, you know, gladiators or whoever's fighting in here, you know, trying to climb out of the pit in the center. So we're gonna build this up 2 times. And it's not just going to be this layer that's here, because since we need to have some form of seating, we definitely want to extend it out and make it wider. So just like with the squares here, we're going to take this out by another one, and we'll probably go back out by maybe, instead of 2, maybe 3 even, because we need the stairs that are going to act as seating, and then we're also going to have to build another layer for the walls themselves. So basically what I'm going to do is just make this circle much, much larger, but it's going to be filled in with these blocks here. So what I'm going to do is just go all the way around with the wedges and the squares. I'm gonna just interchange between saying wedge, triangle, square, foundation, and whatever. So bear with me with that. But I'm gonna go all the way around with those, and I'll come back once I have it all completed. Okay, so I have something like this, but it is, um, but I'm having a little bit of trouble with these stairs here because on these wedges, for some reason, oh, now it wants to work. Sometimes it works and then sometimes it doesn't. But the way I'm going to go about this is I want a lot of seating in here because this is going to be a huge Colosseum. And these gaps here are going to be a little bit finicky to work around, but I'm sure I'll be able to find a way to fill in those gaps there. But this is essentially what I have, and the front is actually going to be right here. It's going to be right here, which I think is a good idea. Or, well, there's two ways I could go about this. So I'm actually going to start putting in some walls now. And the walls that we're going to be using are going to be the actual fence foundations of these. And we're going to go all the way around with this as well. And the reason why I want to do it this way is because I like just the solid side of the fence foundation. So you want the inside facing outside. So I don't know why this arrow is doing that, because technically the arrow is supposed to point where the outside is, but it's showing the inside as the outside. But that's okay. So we just want to go all the way around with this, and since it's a very large circle, this is obviously going to take some time as well, but I do want to show you exactly how I'm going to go through with this and ensure that, you know, things are going to be working in order, because I know for these wedge sides as well, where these stairs are sitting, these do go through the wall here, which I think will be fine for it to go through. It'll give it some character, I guess you could say. Yeah, it would give it some character. So I'm just going to go all the way around and do this exact thing, and it's also going to go on this bottom layer as well. So this whole part here is just going to be nothing but fence foundations. And I'm actually going to be keeping the foundations on top of that as well, just because if I were to do the fence foundations and try to go in with any of the ceilings, then it's just going to be kind of, it's just going to be a lot going on, because, you know, pillars having to be put down for support reasons, and just figuring those out, as well as also deleting all of the foundations I've already placed. And with it being this large, it's gonna take a lot of time, and you know, for something that's more of like a how to build video, which I've done some pretty long ones before, but you know, this one, I think with how large it is, I think we'll just keep the foundations in place, because this is probably one of the largest builds I've done compared to the best build that I've done, that video, which I can link at the end of this video. But yeah, things like that, it's just, it's definitely more of a hassle, even in creative mode, to do that. Even though it's just one click of a button, it's just the amount of times I have to do that in order for me to get exactly what I want out of the build. So, but yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys again once I finish putting all these fence foundations in. Okay, that is all of these pieces put together here. And we have something that looks like this for right now. This looks pretty cool already. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have some openings here because I did cover up the spots where I wanted the front entrance, which is going to be over here. And what I've thought about doing is we're going to delete 3 of these here and 3 of these walls here, because I want to use the gate frame for in the Argosian. I just need to find it. Here it is. This right here, and it's going to be diagonal, and we're going to have one there and one there. And this is going to be, unlike the other arena that I did, where it kind of goes into a small room and then you go out, this is just going to go straight into being right in the open. So the only problem here is that this is going to be a bit tricky for it to be on the edges here, because sometimes this thing can be a little finicky. So sometimes you might want to delete some of the foundations first, or you might want to delete the fence foundations and just keep trying. Because if I had it on the actual blocks themselves, it just won't line up correctly and it'll just not work out. And then I'll have to put more walls in and it's just not gonna look good overall. So yeah, it's also best to maybe isolate or try to isolate these triangles here, so that way this can actually connect where you want it to go. Because right now it's wanting to do a silly little dance with me, and it is not wanting to cooperate at all. And sometimes you might want to go at an odd angle as well in order for this to connect with it. So yeah, but I'm gonna try to get this to work, and I'll get back to you guys once I actually have it connect. Okay, so I finally got them in, and it looks like this. What I had to do is literally, as I mentioned before, isolate them. So I had to isolate all these wedges here by getting rid of everything that was around it, including the fence foundations. But I was able to get it, finally. So before we continue with building the walls, I at least want to get started with the way that I guess the entrance is going to be, and how it leads up to these entrances. And I'm just going to build these foundations here, and I might as well get rid of these because they're going to be kind of in the way. And it's just extra resources there that's not necessary, since these are going to be covered anyway. So something like this. And we want to get to a point where we're going to put in the squares now. And we'll get rid of this layer too. Oops. And then bring this up just like so. And I was thinking of incorporating squares with the triangles and vice versa. So we're going to switch it up here in the front. Just like so. And I'm gonna just keep using the same material throughout this whole thing. I'm gonna keep that consistency for this build at least. Because I mean, the mosaic might look cool out here, but it probably wouldn't match that well with the rest of the build. Even though it is from the same pack, I guess, it does look slightly different. So I'd rather use this. So I'm gonna bring this out to here, and then I'm gonna start building a layer down like so, but this is gonna go out. I need to get rid of that tree. That tree is getting in the way. Oops. Sometimes you'll come across, even in this very open and flat area, you'll still come across, you know, trees and whatnot. And I will say the way that this entrance is a little wonky, but because it should have probably been over here, but the way that I have the stairs now, I'm just like, I'll just I'll just keep it as it is. So just like with some of my previous builds that I've done, I'm gonna do kind of a layered type of way going down. So it's not gonna be as, you know, grand or anything like that because it's not really high up like with the other builds. But what I am going to do is do something similar where I have the foundations act as, I guess, a second type of railing, as these stairs I'm using is the railing, but these walls here act as safeguards even further. And then I'm just going to put 2 sets of stairs on both sides, and just like that. And that's it. That's pretty much how it's going to go. And then we have our Argosian fences that we're going to put down and cover every spot that is a hazard of walking over. Or falling off, not walking. I guess walking over the ledge, because I didn't finish my sentence there, but but we have something like this, which is pretty cool. I like it. I really do. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do is, actually, with the fences as well, I could put these fences around here. Just like this. And make sure it goes all the way around, so that way people on the inside can't climb up here, because if you try to climb up and touch those, you'll get hurt. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want them to climb out as they're trying to battle. Also, it looks like it is turning nighttime, and we don't want that right now. We don't want nighttime to happen. So, for the stairs, these parts here aren't going to have any stairs. It's probably going to just stop at this part right here. And I'm actually going to start using these regular walls. And I'm going to have the outside facing out here. And this little section here is just going to be walled off. It's not going to have anything in it. It's just going to be there for just kind of like, I guess, sectioning off purposes, where it just sections off the entrance to actually where the seating begins, and it'll do the same thing on this side. So we'll section off these areas here as well. Just like that. Now for these gaps here, this is the part that's going to be a little tricky based on the way that these are set up, because these walls, or these parts right here, can actually be brought up like so to section it off here, but not these. These are a little bit different. So my idea is to maybe decrease the number of stairs here and just have 2 of them. Or what I could do is only for the wedged parts, which is unfortunate, we're gonna have to section these off as well. And these could have doorways in them as well. And these could probably be used for, like, I don't know, bathrooms or something. Which I might have an idea for that. And these are sectioned off like so. Because there actually is a cosmetic, or like a decoration that is a bathroom. So we could have for some of those, and then for others, I might actually have another good idea for the other sections. So for this section here, we'll have 2 doors here as well. But instead of them being separated, like for the bathrooms, this could have maybe a staircase going up to just kind of an overlook here to see up at a higher viewpoint. Unless you're literally sitting right up here on the ledge. We could have a viewpoint up here, but I'm gonna leave it open for, I'm gonna leave it open like that for a second. So these 2 sections here that are opposite from each other will be the bathrooms, and then the ones further in the back will be the actual, like, seating from above. And we could put some actual chairs in if we want to, instead of just, because stairs might look a little awkward if we do it that way. Because I do want these walls to be up at a certain height before we begin with because I'm going to be using the archways to get more of that Colosseum look that you see in Italy. So, and I'm actually going to start from halfway at this point from where these gate frames are. So I'm going to just show you guys. So we have these observatory arch walls, and we could build these up like this, and we're just going to go all the way around. And it doesn't matter which directions these face, because each side is the same. So both the front and the back are the same. So you could just go willy-nilly with these. And don't fret, the bottom layer here of these archways, they're going to have fences on them. So that way anybody who's sitting up at the very top of where these stairs are, they're not going to fall backwards and fall all the way down, because that would be really bad. That is a hazard for sure. But the thing about this is that as we build these up all the way, they're going to have different heights. So one side's going to be much, much, much taller than another side. One side's going to be very low. Another side's going to be really tall. So I'm thinking that at least to about here, we can have this section here. So this side, and this side be the tallest section. And these are going to go pretty high up. Probably high enough to where I feel comfortable with not continuing those. And plus, with how big this structure is, we definitely want them to be really, really tall. We want this to be really high structure. So something like this, which I think looks pretty cool. And I might actually tweak it a little bit, because it might be too long of a section for that to work out. And I might make it shorter, where it's probably like 2.5 or something like that. So then these other sections here, these are going to start to get lower. But we don't want them to just go gradually lower, because that's not necessarily what we should do. We should probably have different heights in different areas of this build. So what I mean by that is, like, this section is probably the tallest, but then we'll have other sections that are taller than others. So we have it at this height here, but then this section here could be taller than that section. Just kind of like even though it's like built up and completed, it still will act as if like there's some ruined areas where it's not fully completed, if that makes sense. Like if you've seen the Colosseum or pictures of it, then you know what I'm talking about. Some parts are taller than others because it's, you know, it's old, it's, you know, fallen apart in some areas, not been fully restored at all. So I kind of want to have that vibe with it, but also looks fitting. So yeah, and this can even mesh with some other areas too. Yeah, like this. Honestly, I think that looks good just like that. I don't think I need to do anything else. Yeah, that looks really cool. Alright. I love it. The one thing that I might have trouble with is the lighting in some areas. Only because there's not really much space for there to be lighting. I mean, there's some spaces here for lighting as well. In these little, like in between these walls on each side. And probably right here as well. Outside is a lot easier, only because I could probably put some hanging braziers or wall braziers on the sides, and that'll be okay. I might want to put some banners around as well. I think that'll be a good idea. So once I build this up, then we could put some ceilings in for these sections. And some doors as well, because these aren't just going to be places you just walk right in, you just waltz into, just automatically, you know. I also need to section this off, just like so, because again, bathrooms or whatever for people. Let's get those doors, but I'm actually going to use the observatory sculpted doors just because I do like them a lot more than the regular doors for Argosian. So we're just going to go with that. And then we'll get our ceilings in. And actually, you know what? I'm actually going to use the mosaic ones for this section. Just because the ceiling underneath, or underneath the ceilings, it looks really cool. So if I were to go in here, you could, well, there's no light, so it's kind of hard to see, but there's like stars on the bottom of that. So if once we put light in there, or when light seeps through from a light that's outside, it'll be easier to see. It'll be a lot easier to see. And I love the way that the lighting is in this game, because you can see how the shadows go through just like so. That's really cool. I just love it so much. There's not a door to get into here, so it's kind of it's a bit awkward because of that. But just pretend that there is a way to get into there. This is more of like a, I mean, if there's, we could probably make an accessible place. It's just that I have to hollow out parts of this build. So like underneath the sitting section here, and find a way for people to get in, which I could probably put a little room here that has stairs going down into like a ground floor, where is literally on the ground, and you just walk around, and then there's a door that leads outside. Although the way that the door would be is you'd have to go up a little bit of stairs and then come down a little bit of stairs, just because of the way that I have the heights here of the foundations. So I'll probably think of something like that up here in a little bit. The other thing I wanted to do was put the fences here on this first layer of the arches, because, you know, people that are still sitting in the sections of the squares, they may have a bad time trying to stay balanced when they're trying to sit down at the very top, because if they lose their balance, or if they think that there is something behind them that they can lean on, they could fall backwards and fall out. Same with the people standing up here at the top, looking from a higher point of view. They could easily fall off from behind as well. So we don't want that happening to the audience at all. Alright, so looks just like this. Awesome. I like it. I like it. Alright, so we also need to put fences along here as well for all of these sections. Even for the spots that doesn't have access to go up to, because we're going to put some lights there as well. Even on the spots where you do sit up here too, because you want to be able to see where you're walking. You know, you don't want to fall off on any other side as well. So I'm just gonna fill up the rest of the ceiling here, or yeah, fill in the rest of these spots where the ceiling goes, and then let's go ahead and put in some lights, because I may want to show this at nighttime. So I want to go ahead and do that. And a good set of lights are actually the Turanian braziers. I love these braziers a lot. And I'm going to put them on a higher point because where I'm going to put the banners, actually what I should do is do the banners first and then go in with, then I go in with the lights. So I may want to hang them up here at the top like so. And we're just going to use the same banners throughout this part, just in these different sections. And it is a bit tricky to line these up a bit and also have them on the same height, just because of how, well, first of all, this glare of the sun is not helping at all. But also there's not snapping that's going on, so it's just it's just guesswork that you gotta do. Which, I'm pretty decent at the guesswork every now and again. Just I kind of have a guesstimate as to how high up I have these things. Oops. Sometimes it might be slightly higher than others, but other times I get it right. Or at least what looks like it's right to the naked eye. Alright, so I have those in. Now I want to put in the Tyrannium braziers. And I don't want to put too many because these are pretty bright. So some of these might have to go lower than what I wanted, but that should be fine. Like down here, these can go in the middle of those, and yeah, these just, where did I put this? It's, okay. Because I have to kind of do the same thing as I did with the banners, where I have to kind of guesstimate exactly where these will go. And the shaded parts here is actually very helpful because it'll kind of give me an idea of how bright this will be once they've all been put in. And we have something like that. And then obviously I do want lights here too, so I'll put these braziers in, just like so. And then as well as braziers going in between these walls here. Alright. And then I want to put braziers in too. And I could do that little trick with the Argosian that I like to do sometimes, which is taking these quarter pillars and making a square out of them. I'm gonna do it for both sides. And I'm gonna use the set brazier, because I always like using these for these pedestals that I make. And we have some light in here. Some light. It's pretty dim in the middle. So we might want to put some lights down here too. And maybe not some, well, I could put something in the middle. And yeah, you know what, we could do, yeah, this is actually enough light. It's kind of hard to find the center though of this, so I'm gonna just plop it down like that. Just kind of do some guesswork here. Yeah. That's good enough, I think. Oh yeah. And we don't want it too bright, but we don't want it too dark. So as long as I can see what I'm doing, it should be fine. We should be fine overall. Yeah, this looks really pretty already. I love it. We need to put some doors in for these gate frames. Just like that. And the sitting areas, which are back here, I was thinking of having a spiral staircase going up. And it would start from right here, which I don't think it will work if I have these walls here, so I might have to get rid of these out here first and then put them down, or it just might be very finicky. I wish there was an undo button. Really wish there was, because that would be pretty great if I could do that. Oh, here we go. You should turn the other way, though. Please and thank you. What about this? Can you turn? No. Does not want to turn that way. I actually got it to work somewhat. And this is what we have right here. And I might as well put these fences in. Yeah, and I can still walk. Okay. Let's walk down there. And then the seating will be over on this side. So I unfortunately am going to have to do the same thing because I had to break down some walls and even the stairs in order for it to work. So I'm going to have to do the same thing for this as well. So it's going to be a little bit it's going to be a little bit awkward. So and I guess I could show you the process of how I did this. So I literally had to remove all these walls, but I don't know if, because the stairs were actually getting in the way the most. So I might not have to get rid of all of it, potentially. And the way that I have these stairs here is they start all the way in the back like this, where they face that back wall. I need the same thing to happen here, so I might just have to remove everything that's near it. Because it's wanting... Oh, there we go. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Perfect. Okay, so this might act a little bit different, as this is a different angle. But no, I still had to get rid of all those stairs there. Or those walls, not stairs. So, it's a bit unfortunate that I had to do that. And the same thing for this, too. It just needs a lot of space for some reason. Not sure why, but it does. And I may need to mess with this a little bit. Yeah. Just like this. Just how we get this seating in and everything. Or the, you know, the way to get up here properly. And even the lights have to go as well. It's just a mess. It's a mess, but it's worth it because of what we're going to be doing and everything that's involved with this. It's a masterpiece. It's going to look great, you know? Alright, so once I have these back in, and put these back up here too, and the thing is trying to remember what height I had these at. So I'm just gonna wing it and do that. Just like that. It looks fine. Even if it wasn't that way originally, it still looks good. But once we have these all in, we can put everything back in place, and everything will be back to normal. Maybe. Yeah, and that's a little bit awkward there, because, well, it has 3 gone, and that's 3 gone there, but yeah, it's just a weird angle. And then I can put these stairs back as well. Alright, let's get back to the banners here. 1 there. And 1 there. And then a light. Turanium brazier. Boom. Okay, now we're back to normal. Now for the seating that is up here. So let me find let's see, seating, here we go. So there's a couple things. There's like these Argosian chairs that we could use. Just kind of, you know, put a chair on each wedge that's here, like so. And then bring this forward a bit and put it in between these chairs. And there is walking room here. There is not walking room there, however. Finding the right walking space is kind of frustrating. I gotta be able to walk through here without getting caught up into something. There we go, just like that. And then I do the same distance for each one here. There we go. Perfect. So I could just sit down here and kind of look over. The chair kind of sits kind of low, but that's alright. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Each triangle has a chair for the back here, and then we have walking room there, and walking room not so much there. There we go. That's better. Yep. Much better. Alright. And there we go. Now for up here, I want to put some more lights. I think plants would also be nice to have too. Some plants just scattered about. Yeah, surrounding these pedestals that I made. It's okay that these are crooked and whatnot. It's fine. Yeah, that looks really nice. I like that. Alright, and then I gotta put these lights back in since I destroyed some of these walls. And it should be good at night again. Should be. This part right here, I want to put a carpet in. And we'll put the carpet right there in the middle. Beautiful. And I was also thinking, ooh, you know what'd be really cool? Having this here. And this could be like ultimate seating for like the emperor, whomever is gonna be here. And then the chair. That's like that. Can't really see that well right there. So what I could do is bring up this a little bit. Although it might be a little tricky to do so. I mean, there are two entrances here, and I might have an idea of how to get this to cooperate. So let's go back to Argosian. And I want to build more of a, like, I don't want to use the, what are they called? Door frames? I don't want to use those. I want to use these inverted wedges. Or inverted walls. Inverted wedges. I mean, they're triangles, so I mean, you could call them wedges, I guess, but that's not really their proper name. So we have something like this. That's kind of like a tunnel of some sort. And up here, we'll have the ceiling, and I'm actually going to put the mosaic ceiling up here, just to kind of match the way that the flooring is for the upper floors for seating. Also, for some reason, these ceilings are being placed elsewhere, and I don't know where. As long as I can't see it, that's fine. I just know I was placing a multitude of them somehow, some way. But it's going to have to go out to here because of how large the throne is. So I'm just going to put some walls here. And I'm going to extend this out to here. And same thing with this one, just like so. So it looks like that. That way you can have like a tunnel going underneath, although there needs to be stairs. So that's probably why I put this here, if my brain is working properly. Something like that, I guess. Something like that. That's what you want to call it, working or whatever. Yeah, we have stairs there and stairs here. Then if I go back to seating, maybe I could get away by putting it in the wall a little bit. Oh no, that's fine. Actually, that works out. Okay, it's smaller than I was thinking, even though I already placed it down a second ago. I thought it was larger than that, but that actually is fine. And then this goes right there. Maybe center it a little bit more if I can. Like so. There's also this, which is pretty darn cool. So I might want to put this in as well. That looks more Turanian, but we're gonna deal with that. I like that. Yeah, I want to keep that there. That's good. That's nice. I do like that. And then, as I showed here, this is going to be kind of like a tunnel of some sort. So yeah, that's how it's going to work. And then we'll put fences along here. And here as well. And there definitely needs to be lights here since that brazier was taken away. And the brazier we're going to use... How bright are these? Oh, that's pretty bright, actually. So we'll have two of these small ones here. And I want to put some plants down, too. So, plants. One there. One there. And pots and jars we'll have there. Just kind of make it symmetrical in a way, if possible. And then some, like, smaller ones around. Like these big ones in the corner, too. Yeah. Beautiful. That looks really nice. I like that. I do like that a lot. Wow. This turned out to be pretty amazing. However, we need to finish the outside here, and we need to put some statues in here, because we love statues. I love statues. These are too big. So I'm going to use what I love to use, as always, are these statues here. I'm going to put a statue there and a statue there. And in the middle, you can use a larger statue that fits pretty much perfectly in that square. If I can get the lining, if I can get the line up right. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's so cool. That is really cool. And in the middle here, I wanted to put a Argosian fountain. And I'm going to put two of them here. And I like these ones that go against the wall. Just gotta make sure that I'm facing the right direction. And I also gotta make sure that they are right up against the wall. Like, literally touching the wall. It might be okay if they're inside it a little bit. Just because the wall is a little bit thick. The fence foundation walls. Yeah, something like this. So if I... Okay, it's not facing through. Perfect. I love it. That looks really nice. And just something in the middle here, probably a wall decor. We'll do the Wolfman insignia. Right there. That's wonderful. That is nice. I like it. I really like it. That is really, really nice. Although the last thing is more plants. Decorate it with more plants, because we like plants. I'll put some of these plants behind the statues, like so. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Now it's done. Oh my gosh, that looks so pretty. So that tunnel that I was talking about, I'm deciding not to do it because that would take a long time to try to fix and redo and everything. So, definitely going to just leave it as it is right now. But I do think this turned out really well either way. I love this so much. This is another large build, like a pretty big build that I usually don't do, but I'm glad that I made this Colosseum as large as it is, just because of how grand it is. I mean, Colosseums are typically large, and they should be. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Okay, let's get a tour of the place. So I'm gonna stand down here. And I'm going to do this during the day just because it's easier to see, and I know there are some dim areas in the Colosseum, or in this, yeah, arena Colosseum. I'm probably going to call it a Colosseum in the title, maybe. So I'd rather do it during the day, so. Alright, so as we walk up here, it's so huge. We have some lovely statues and a nice staircase going up. Oh, and scorpions. As we walk up here, we have some lovely plants here and fountains. So these fountains you can't take a drink from. It's the rounded one, or the one that goes all the way around, not the half circles. Yeah, you can drink out of those, but not these. But these are mainly just for looks, which I do like them a lot. I don't use them as much as I should, so I'm glad that I'm utilizing them here. So it doesn't really matter which way we go in first, but we have these grand doorways here. And here we are inside. Wow. That is amazing. Just beautiful. Wow. So there's a tunnel that's down here that goes to the other side in case you don't want to walk all the way around. And up here, this is where the emperor or king would sit. And it is kind of far from seeing over. If these fences weren't here, you'll be able to see a lot better, but he doesn't need to watch. He's gonna pretend to watch. But all throughout here, we have these lovely sitting areas, which are just stairs that I've put in. But they act like rows of seats. And in here, these are going to be like little bathrooms and whatnot. So if I were to go into, baths, here we are. So we have a latrine that we could put in here. Put one in the corner there and right there. A bath probably wouldn't be bad either, although these baths take up so much space, which is crazy. So we're just going to keep the latrines and it's going to be for the other side as well. And it's not really like, you know, men's bathroom, women's bathroom. It's just, you know, anybody could use the bathroom. Anybody can. So over here though, over here, this is a place where a staircase is, and it has it on the other side as well, where you can come up here and sit in some of these chairs, such as this one, and you can look down over into the arena down below and see who's fighting and everything. And from this point, you could also see the important person that's sitting over there in that chair. But heading back down here, which I'm not going to take the stairs, we can go around this way again. And same thing as before, you have these stairs here. Going up to this sitting area, get a different angle of the arena, of the Colosseum. Then we come back down here, and then we have these last two rooms here, which is the place where you put the baths. So, yeah, and I might flip these doors around because they're opening the wrong way, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here as well, because yeah, they should open up the other direction. But yeah, this turned out really nice, and the sun is setting, so I guess for my outro you guys will be able to see this at night as we look inside of here. And I think the best angle to get this at nighttime would be to stand up on these higher spots here. Yeah. Alright. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this build video. This build turned out to be amazing. I love this so much. I love doing builds like these. The thing is like I want to do a lot of these more often, but it's just the problem of coming up with so many ideas, or at least another idea. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to think exactly how I want to build something. So, yeah, if I were to do these more often, I definitely would. And I mean, you guys can give suggestions down below for what you want to see me build. It could be, you could just say a castle. You could just say like a tower of some kind. Just something simple, and then I can do something with it. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button as well, because it's free, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy the content on the channel and would like to see more. I've been Savvy, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'd also like to give a shout out to my friends Bear Medley and Donkeys for Sale for being members of the channel, and you could become a member too by hitting the join button down below. I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. See you later.